Hey guys, this is Grant. Today we're going to be working on some of my rocket fuel, hopefully putting together a rocket motor today. So anyhow, this is part of my casing that I've been working on building for my rocket engine. And in case you don't know, I've been playing around with some potassium nitrate and ammonium nitrate, try to figure out which mixtures work best for rocket fuel. My conclusion is that even though potassium nitrate is, at least for me, since it's a little bit harder to find because I just use ammonium nitrate from cold packs, it's a little bit harder to find. I found that it still worked best. It's a combination with sugar, also known as rocket candy, is the fuel mixture. I use a 65 to 35 ratio for the potassium nitrate to sugar. Here's my sugar here. Anyhow, so today I'm just going to be showing you all how I mix it up on my stove here. Yeah, so here we go. This is my potassium nitrate here. This is my sugar. I've already measured them out on my handy dandy scale here. So anyhow, what are we going to get to? Okay, so for these rocket engines to work properly, we have to create something called a Bates grain. Basically what that is a section of inside here, which is where the fuel is going to be loaded into. We want our fuel to be kind of loaded in 3 different sections. That gives us a greater surface area for when we light it. It can burn all those surface areas all at once and give us a quicker acceleration and raise the pressure inside the chamber faster to get our combustion increased. So the way we're going to do that is after we mix these fuels together, we melt them on the stove. I'll go through all that in a little bit. We're going to pour that into here and it's going to harden, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this into 3 sections so I can get my 3 different grains cut out here. That's why they're called the Bates grain. So anyhow, this is basically, if you haven't noticed, this is a quarter roll holder, whatever you want to call these things. So this is what I'm using to pour the fuel into. So if I cut this right now, it's just going to unravel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of tape here and I'm just going to tape these flaps down. Alright, so there they are. Those are my 3 Bates grains. So like I said, these are going to be filled up with our mixture of potassium nitrate and sugar. They're going to be loaded into here just like so, and they'll fall down in there. Anyhow, and then if you haven't seen yet, this is my cap that'll go on, and that's going to be my rocket engine. Let's move along here to the fun part, making my fuel. So let's go ahead and move over here. I got my water, got it on my hot plate, and grab my mixture. So time to start dissolving it. This water's just now been set on top there, so it's still a bit chilly. Also should mention that with the ammonium nitrate that I've used in the past, like I said, I'm using potassium nitrate today. Ammonium nitrate has a tendency to ignite due to excessive heat. So I've actually had my pot and mixture catch on fire on this hot plate because I let it get too hot. So yeah, that was a bit exciting. If you ever work with ammonium nitrate, I recommend you do it outside, just to be safe. But this here I've never had any issues with, so I think we should be fine today. Alright, there we go. You can kind of see in the pot here. So like I said, I'm just going to go pour the mixture into my water. It's starting to get a little hot. I'm going to turn it down just a tad. Keep stirring vigorously. You want it to all be dissolved. Because what we're doing here is we're breaking down these particles that you saw were pretty granulated, the sugar and the potassium nitrate. And when it dissolves, it's going to become really at its smallest molecular point, to where when it recondenses, the sugar and the potassium nitrate will be bound together in a much tighter, compact form than when we had it in a granulated form earlier. So looks like I may have used a bit too much water because that easily dissolved, but there's really nothing wrong with that. It just means we have to wait longer for the water to boil off. So we'll go and let that happen, and once we start getting lower, we'll begin to mix it. Alright, I think we're done. So I'm going to go and turn that off. Scoot it over a little bit. Alright, so we got to do this fast. Take a scoop. Another scooper. Oh, crud. Alright, stick that back down in there. So it is hot, in case you didn't know. I like to wear gloves sometimes, but often that just makes it harder to work with. I just basically press it down in there nice and firmly, and then try to kind of shape it into a nice circle. You want to make sure it's pressed down so you don't have any air gaps. It's hot. Alright, we're going to take our, there we go. Alright, there's our first one. Alrighty, I finally finished my third grain here after cooking it some more, and I stuck it in this bag. The other thing I should have told you earlier on is that this stuff absorbs a lot of moisture. So if you leave it out, it'll absorb moisture and it becomes no good. So putting it in a seal-proof bag, try to get all the oxygen out of there. Unless it's really low humidity, it'll, like I said, absorb a lot of moisture. So I'm in the basement right now, not a huge problem. So like this stuff here is still fine, but if it sits out for more than about an hour, then it really starts getting some moisture. So anyhow, we're gonna take a little chunk. We're gonna go do a little test try. I always like to test out my fuel, make sure it works good. That's what I've also got this for. We'll do that a little bit later, but first we're going to start out with this little piece. It's not very much, less than an ounce, so let's go and try it. Whew. Hey guys, so we just finished the testing of our homemade rocket fuel and everything looked good. I liked the burn rate, I liked how everything went. So it looks like we're on for launch. Should be hopefully sometime tomorrow morning. We're going to go ahead and make a homemade rocket for it so we can test it out, see how well it flies. But if everything goes well, we should have a rocket that launches a good distance, thinking about close to 500 to 1,000 feet, depending on how everything goes. So look forward to that. We've got the video coming up. Should be, like I said, sometime tomorrow. Like I said, don't know exactly how well it'll go. It could overpressurize. It could not even get off the ground. Just don't know yet. But that's what's the fun part of making these homemade rocket engines, is just seeing how well they do. So see you then.